It's the Art of Action Figures, bringing you a look at January 2025's Premium Bandai SH Figuarts Dragon Ball release. This time, we're rounding out the Dragon Ball GT crew with Pan, GT, and Gill, or Giru for all my English dub enjoyers. Ever since Tamashii announced Pan Superhero, I figured it was only a matter of time before they made her GT look. Unfortunately, that might be the worst figure in the line this side of Goma, whether through lessons learned or just understanding the assignment to make figures in the same line in the same scale. Promo photos for GT Pan included group shots of the whole GT crew, where her scale is looking great. How is the scale in person? Is it a satisfying representation of the character? How is the hand feel and engineering on such a small figure? And are there any quality issues to look out for? All of this and more is coming up right now. The packaging is the narrower style SHF box, same as GT Goku and Trunks, which is nice. Why on earth they didn't use this size box for poor Daima Vegeta is a mystery. On the front, along the bottom, are all your brand logos, authenticity stickers, consumer safety and manufacturing info. Bandai, Tamashii Nations, Dragon Ball GT, Tamashii Web exclusive, holographic Tamashii Nations quality sticker, designed by Tamashii Nations in Japan, Bandai Spirits made in Vietnam, warning ages 15 and up, choking hazard small parts, not for children under 3 years, product may differ from photo. We have a beautiful red-orange accent color this time, somewhere between Pan's bandana and shirt color. The window cutout extends to the top and left-hand side of the box, and we have a really nice full-color product photo on the front, along with black and white photos on the front, bottom, and right-hand side. Around the back, more full-color product photos, brand info copy-paste, and Bandai Namco distribution and customer support info. We also have the UPC barcode, and there's the holographic Toei animation sticker. I told you, it likes to sneak around to the back of these narrow boxes. If you're new here, welcome. It's the Art of Action Figures, where we talk about action figures as art. And if you're not new, welcome back. Sharp object, find an adult warning. I have my trusty hobby knife, which I've already used to carefully slice the tape along the right-hand side. Now I'm just going to carefully feed the blade under the flap, push the dull edge toward the back of the box, and pop. Repeat the same at the other end, and you get a nice, clean, unwrinkled flap. Now strangely, unlike GT Trunks and Super 17, which got the old-style, separate instruction pamphlets and accent color inserts, with Pan, we're back to the full-color interior and instructions printed on the flap, which I think I prefer. Quick size comparison, here's your average 2.0 adult Goku, and Great Saiyaman joining us here just so Vidal's absence can be felt. Now that is more like it, finally a well-scaled child character with an appropriately sized head. I said it in my review, but as good as GT Goku's body is, the head is still too big, and let's take a look at that now. Swapping in the GT crew, and I just love how this looks all together. Completing a team is one of the most satisfying treats in collecting, and I think for the 10 of us who bought these, it's great that Tamashii prioritized completing this team so quickly. And I'm joking about specifically 10, but on Premium Bandai you can sort by popularity and see GT Pan and Trunks both sold less than Pan Superhero. Ouch! Maybe we're lucky they committed to doing the whole team up front, but I also feel this is exactly what Premium Bandai is for, so well done. Pan comes with 4 faces: smiling, laughing, shouting, and gritting teeth, 2 front and 2 back hairpieces, which can be used in any combination with any of the faces for relaxed, windswept, or just some additional neck range. She also has her signature orange bandana, which is what links all the hair and face pieces together, and I'll show you how that works in just a few moments. 4 pairs of hands, cast in bluish purple, with fingers painted to look like fingerless gloves, a pair of fists, clenched finger open palms, splayed finger open palms, splayed finger open palms with yellow key blasts, as well as pre-molded crossed arms which connect at the bicep, and we'll see how swaps go. You also get her blue backpack, and of course Giru, who unfortunately is mostly not articulated except for arm swivels, which by themselves don't really have enough expression for a modern collectible figure. And finally, a laughing faceplate DLC for GT Goku, which looks good, is nice to have, but I would really like Tamashii and other brands to stop with this accessory jumbling practice. It's a marketing intrusion that forever pollutes the final product. A tacky reminder of the least pleasant part of collecting to think about. The other consequence is we have budget and tray space allocated for Goku and not Pan. What's left out as a result? Like most premium Bandai releases, this one covers the essentials, but rather than a bonus face for Goku, pointing hands, victory hands, a dragon radar part, or more articulation for Giru, Pan has a lot of personality, and I can think of at least 4 other faces that would have been not necessary, but awesome to have with this figure. Ultimately, there's probably data saying these DLC parts increase sales, end of story, and I'm just yelling at clouds. Pan's details are clean, mostly unpainted except for costume detail, which for me is a good thing when it comes to anime figures. Matte finish throughout with some slightly glossy skin, which might be incidental, but actually works really well for GT's highlight-heavy art style. Her red, orange, and purpley blue color palette is unique, vibrant, and eye-catching. The faces are great, sculpted perfectly with that classic GT curve, clean paint, scrunch lines, raised eyebrows, and extended open jaw as needed per expression. Color matching across materials is great, including the shoulder sockets, knees and elbows, and the neck, which are often problem areas on figures. Shirt is molded red with very thin yellow lines, cleanly painted around her collar and sleeves. My one aesthetic complaint with the figure is the elbow joints are not very cleanly incorporated into the sculpt. Separate wristband parts for the gloves give a clean color separation, and while the fingerless glove skin tone isn't perfect, it's close enough. Her crop top t-shirt design is perfect for a mid-torso cut, which they have taken good advantage of. Her capri-style jeans are pre-molded in this lovely pale lavender, well sculpted with a nice taper and some creases. Thigh and knee cuts stick out a little bit. I wonder why they didn't go with the GT Goku style thigh swivel at the hip. The belt and chain are molded into the waist piece, all one soft plastic part, cleanly painted and quite stylish. Finally, her bluish shoes are sort of a half trunks boot with purple socks folded over the top, darker patches over the heels and toes, and white paint around the soles and over the treaded bottoms. The easiest way I've found to swap the hair or faces is to first connect the face and bangs to the bandana, connect the back hair to the neck, and then push the bandana, bangs, and face onto the back hair. It's easier than connecting the full head to the neck, which doesn't really leave enough room to hit the angle of the neck joint, and it's easier than pushing the face up into the bandana, which also doesn't leave a lot of room to carefully align the delicate bangs, which are kind of a softer plastic material similar to Super Android 17. Crossed arms are a solid single piece with gloves painted on. Not too tricky to swap, but be careful removing the articulated arms since the connection point is also close to the elbow joint, which can split if you use too much force. Key blasts are translucent yellow with subtle white airbrush on top. They're removable from the hands, and since the keyed pegs are molded into the hands, you can actually use these key blasts with another character with some sticky tack or very careful balance. The backpack is a soft plastic molded blue with precise silver accents for the buckle and strap connections. The straps fit easily and rest naturally over Pan's shoulders. And finally, Giru is molded in gray, painted white, with a multi-layer eye lens that says, "No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error." Build quality here is excellent. No squeaks and squawks, and nothing too loose. I did find that the hand fit onto the wrist pegs is a little light, and they can sometimes detach easily when articulating the wrists. The neck is molded into the upper body, so there's no ball joint at the base of the neck, and it connects to the head with a swivel hinge swivel combo joint where the top swivel is pointed back into the hair. Let's use the windy hair for a bit more range. With the hinge, she can look up a little less than 45 and down quite a lot past 45. The upper swivel gives you about 45 degrees of tilt, and the lower swivel lets her turn her head all the way around. The shoulders are a simplified version of the Body 3.0's butterfly joint, where the socket cap and inner ball socket peg are a single piece rather than a separate sleeve that fits over the ball socket peg. It works well. Good crossbody range going forward, and good range across the back. Ball, hinge, swivel, shoulders give arm swivel and nuance posing on the ball peg. Hinge up past 90 degrees. Ball joints from the arm into the sleeve give full upper arm swivel, but no pivot on the ball to speak of. Single hinge elbows bend 90 degrees, and there's another full swivel at the forearm, which is honestly getting a little out of hand. And why can her arm bend backwards at the elbow? It makes posing her arms a little bit trickier than it needed to be. Wrists are standard SHF swivel hinge ball pegs. They can hinge vertically, horizontally, and everything in between. The torso has two ball joints, one well placed where the midsection meets the t-shirt, and another at the waist. And altogether she leans back quite well, crunches forward very well, tilts to the side, and can twist and shout in any direction, with rotation coming more naturally from the upper joint, it seems. The hips are on a Figma-style three-way ball peg, and function sort of like drop-down hips due to the floating waist piece, which can slide up and out of the way, allowing a lot more range kicking forward and backwards. The chain limits forward range on the right leg, but is soft plastic that isn't going to scratch the leg and can flex out of the way a little bit, but you might not want to leave it flexed for a long period of time. Limited range kicking out to the side, just about 45 degrees on the ball peg there. The thigh swivel is a more traditional, full, straight cut compared to the weird scoop cuts we've been seeing on figures like GT trunks. Single hinge knees bend 90 degrees and look pretty tidy. The ankles are some of the best of any SH Figuarts. They are swivel hinge swivel joints, which despite the socks have plenty of range pointing down or up, and a good bit of ankle rocker using both swivels. And finally, the all-important toe hinge. After Pan Superhero, I was a little worried about how Pan GT would turn out, but with just a few minor complaints, this is my favorite figure from the GT crew. Elbows could be better, Giru could have a little more articulation, and the DLC is the DLC. I always really liked GT Pan's voice in the English dub, and she just always sounded really sweet. I think this figure evokes the same and does the character justice. She looks bright, cool, and functions great. She pairs great with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, since she's the one who triggers this transformation. And even though we're light on GT villains, you can have her give Dr. Giru a little kick. Out of the GT crew, Pan is the one I'd say people are probably missing out on most. Good job, Tamashii. And that's my most anticipated SH Figuarts Dragon Ball figure of the year, out and done in January. Uh-oh. So next month's Premium Bandai is the older style Battle Clothes Vegeta, then a long break for me until Monster Zarbon in July, and so videos might slow down a little as a result, but I do have a few pickups outside Dragon Ball coming up as well. This has been the Art of Action Figures. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the SH Figuarts, GT Pan, and Giru. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.